Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Overvolted podcast. I'm your host, Matthew, today. Kirk, for some reason, had something called a job to do. I don't know how that could possibly be more important than the podcast, but we've replaced him with somebody for one episode. Keith, please introduce yourself.
Hey, guys. Keith here from WCCF Tech. So I'll be here for today, maybe.
Yeah.
You'll be here for the rest of your life.
Oh, goodness.
Donnie, yep.
Yeah.
And Alex.
It's Alex, the guy who reviews CPUs and occasionally comes on this podcast.
All the order that Kirk brought is gone, basically.
This is chaos.
Yeah.
Let's
go.
Welcome to the autonomous podcast zone.
Oh dear.
Okay, so let's start with the most interesting thing that has happened this month, perhaps.
In
GPU
tech.
scheduling.
In tech.
No, GPU scheduling. God.
The most interesting thing, just in general.
July's been a really slow month, by the way. If you
it really has been.
It's been I think this has been the worst month for tech in what? It's been a really long time since.
If you
this has
compare
been
it to
that
July
bad.
2019, especially, the year.
Oh yeah,
like it's crazy.
It's been so bad this month. I haven't written an article.
There's those XT refreshes that are way
Alex,
way better.
Those were so boring. I didn't even feel like making an article for it.
I got the email and I was like, "Oh, groovy."
And I also got an email. I was like, "Who the hell cares?"
When it came in, I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right. This is a thing."
Okay, so last month, the GPU scheduling was actually done last month, but this month, that is like about a week ago, Donnie tested it on his 5700 XT. And found some shocking results. Donnie, would you like to inform us what those results were?
You guys will not believe it, but it's totally within the margin of error. No, but I mean, so I tested it on my GPU test bench, which is a Ryzen 9 3900X. And honestly, aside from like a couple of games, I didn't really see any benefit. And even the benefit I did see in the few titles that it did seem to make a difference, it wasn't much. And then on average, it's like 0.75% faster at 1080p. And just for like a sanity check, I did try simulating a lower end CPU, something more along the lines of a Ryzen 3, and that didn't like help at all.
Yeah, I wish you benchmarked Witcher 3 because that's the one title on my G14 that really benefited. Well, other than Hitman 2, but it benefited like a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, Matthew, I want to visit that myself. I know different site and all, but I'd like to look at that too, just from the testing that I've done, because your result for that was probably one of the most interesting ones.
Yeah, especially given that it's a DX11 title. Like, you would expect this kind of improvement to be more pronounced in the newer APIs.
The newer DX12 titles. Yeah, but apparently it isn't.
It was there in Hitman 2. Even in the AMD testing, Hitman 2 kind of did something.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot, though.
The strange thing, though, is that when I locked it down to a quad core, I actually saw a reduction in performance once scheduling was turned on. Those results aren't in the article. It was just something I did, like preliminary testing. It wasn't a major reduction. It just wasn't like a benefit.
Huh.
I also wonder if where I tested matters, because I tested in Novigrad in Witcher 3, which is very CPU heavy, and for Hitman 2, I tested in Paris. There's a slight caveat to that. Paris is in Hitman 1, but they redid all the maps for Hitman 2.
Yeah.
So this is like the Hitman 2
engine
remake. So, and there's a lot of NPCs in Paris. Like, there's a very dense amount of NPCs, so that could have had something to do with it.
I mean, I test in Miami just for consistency's sake, because I'm never sure if I'm testing on a different account or something.
So I do all my graphics testing in Hitman 2 and Santa Fortuna. If I was testing CPU, I would probably do Miami.
Paris would be a good place to do too, though. Paris would probably be a little bit heavier, honestly.
I like Paris because it's just like the first one.
And there's a massive amount of NPCs when you first walk into the room.
Yeah, and I don't have to log into the benchmark account to do it. So
makes sense.
But now I did buy Hitman 2 recently, so now I can do Miami if I want to. But
it's a very fun game to play.
I should definitely start going through Hitman 2. I beat Hitman 1. I did a lot of the stuff in Hitman 1.
Mm-hmm.
You guys play games?
Huh?
Y'all get to play games?
I mean, sometimes.
Sometimes. I finished both Hitmans, and I'm looking forward to the third one, but I don't play anything lately.
Yes.
Oh yeah, they are making a third one. But
Yes.
my favorite map in the original Hitman, Hitman 2016, is probably the Sapienza map. I really like that one.
Yeah.
I can't remember which one Sapienza is.
It's Italy. It's the one with the mansion and the science facility.
Yes.
That one is my favorite one as well.
That one's really good.
I also really like the Hokkaido one because the ninja mission. Have you done the ninja one?
Yeah.
That one is so much fun. I also like the one where you just go up to the target, and because he recognizes you, he has a heart attack and he dies. That's
my
in the
God.
second.
Yeah.
That's in Hokkaido too. With doing that one's very similar to the ninja one because you have to be in your suit. You have to be in the Agent 47 suit, and you have to go up to him, and he has to see you.
Oh, that makes sense because you're.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's very similar to doing the ninja one. Anyways, that's it for GPU scheduling in Hitman.
I do have a question on the GPU scheduling. On the Radeon side, is there any limitations to what GPUs are supported by it? I feel like there was, but I missed
It's
it.
only the RX 5000 series.
It's just the 5700 series or all 5000 series?
What I read was the 5700 and 5600. So apparently not the 5500 series, but that could have just been a miscommunication in PR. I didn't actually test those.
I need to
Rip
check
Vega.
that because in my testing, I found the 2080 Ti was a wash. It was just like what you guys found. And as far as with these, it didn't do any. There was no benefit. It was within margin of error. But the 1650 Super, I thought maybe because this thing's got limited VRAM, it's 4 gigs, and now the graphics card's handling the memory allocation and everything, maybe. And I did see between a 7 to 9% performance increase in the 2 games I checked, which were Forza Horizon 4 and Gears Tactics. So I was wondering if maybe the 5500 XT might see that, but I'll have to check and see if it's supported. It'd be an interesting one to see.
I think maybe they're just rolling out support slowly, and that's why it's not supported there, if anything.
It is a beta driver after all.
Yeah.
So
I'm mostly interested in seeing it enabled on like the Renoir laptops.
What's interesting with one thing I noticed in Task Manager when turning GPU scheduling on and off, the temperature thing in the Task Manager, which is available for GPUs now, it didn't appear when GPU scheduling was off for the NVIDIA one, but
really?
with the AMD iGPU, the Vega 8 graphics, it was always there. So that was really weird.
huh.
That made me think that maybe GPU scheduling is just enabled there. But the thing is, would it matter? It's on the same silicon. So even if there is GPU scheduling for the integrated graphics, I don't think it would make a difference.
Yeah, integrated gets interesting, especially with the whole memory allocation, because you guys know that even if you have like 64 megabytes allocated to the iGPU or 2 gigs, it's going to the buffer. Once that buffer is full, it's going to flow over into system memory anyway, and it's the same memory, so it's not going to affect it. That is interesting.
Speaking of integrated graphics, there was an integrated graphics leak, or something that probably isn't integrated graphics, but something that everybody thinks is, which is the Tiger Lake thing in the laptops, which was from like a week ago. This was a few benchmarks leaked by AppySac, and it was there. These are laptops with Tiger Lake CPUs in them, with G graphics, but they don't have to be the Tiger Lake graphics, because if you'll remember, DG1 is the same graphics, and they will also be in laptops. You remember that?
Yeah, and it's the same as the board, the system development vehicle, the SVD or SDV that I got to play with. So it's everything being the same makes it really hard to nail down what you think it actually is, because it scales pretty greatly even in the same package.
So for our viewers, Keith, who are not familiar, when did you get a chance to play with this?
At CES.
Okay,
and I did not break embargo. That was somebody else.
I mean, people are going to assume things because you're the WCCF tech guy, so you probably do need to preface that.
Yeah. No, that was funny because I got a call that morning and they were like, "Keith, where are you at?" I was like, "I'm asleep. So and so posted this." I'm like, "Talk to them then."
I think, oh god, I can't remember. This was back before. This might have even been in 2019. I think we were told that DG1 might be developer only. So that stuff was getting leaked even before.
Oh yeah.
CS.
Oh no, this was the actual stuff at CES. Like we were in a room.
Oh.
It was only like 9 people in the room, and everybody kept looking at me. I was like, I'm not leaking anything. I don't know why everybody keeps looking at me. And then like in the middle of the night, I'm getting phone calls because somebody's article had they mistimed it. Instead of 12 noon, they did 12 midnight.
Oh
man.
That's a bad mistake to make.
I did that once with the Raven Ridge parts back when they came out, and that was real fun, you know, because I've got a day job, and at the time I had just pulled into work, and Edelman's calling me going, Kate! And I was like, what?
So you guys know Edelman is the company that handles most of AMD's PR.
Yeah, I thought it was a person for the longest time.
It is. It's one person that's made up of a bunch of little people, and they all merge together and get angry from time to time.
Yeah, it's like what's it called? It's like Power Rangers when they all morph.
Yeah. Breaking embargo is my greatest fear, especially when I had the Ampere thing from Super Mario. I was like, oh my god, I hope I don't accidentally break this, even though they told me very little.
When when Navi launched the 5700 and 5700 XT, I was really worried about because I scheduled the article, and then I looked back and the website's time zone was completely off. And so I reset it to be New York time again, and I'm like, oh, I really hope this doesn't post at the wrong time, but it didn't, and we're all good.
Yeah. Okay, anyways, but back to Tiger Lake, or G, or whatever this is. I think this is going to be the discrete version. Because when you look at the results, it says it has 6 gigabytes, the GPU. And that's a lot for a buffer. What? Okay, so I've seen a lot of BIOSes where the buffer only goes up to 2 gigabytes.
That's
it doesn't even go any higher.
That's pretty typical for IGP, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, for a laptop to see even higher than 2 gigabytes, and this is presumably at least some kind of engineering or qualification sample laptop, because the CPU has a name and everything.
There's the possibility that it is still an IGP, but that the 6 GB frame buffer is being forced for the test.
Yeah, I just find that unlikely.
No, Doom did that. Doom Eternal. If you ran it on an APU, it would see all of your memory as your VRAM. But that is.
That makes sense now. Yeah, no, because my brother was trying to play it on the APU.
But we know that with Geekbench, it'll say how much system RAM and then how much of that has been partitioned for the GPU. So I think this must be discrete. And then there's a cut down version of it that has 3 gigabyte, I think. I might be getting that wrong.
Do you think this could have been a workstation part?
I don't know.
I'm gonna just kind of ask as the reader in the room or the viewer, isn't this really bad if it's tying an MX350? Wouldn't this be
it's very bad.
Really disappointing for the best thing that they've shown so far,
especially with the 6 GB frame buffer.
Yeah, with something that has a 6 GB frame buffer to tie.
It's DDR3.
DDR3.
It's DDR3.
Something that ties the MX350, which, is the thing that's slightly better than integrated graphics that you put in laptops to play Overwatch.
The MX350 is a cut down 1050.
Yeah, it's the thing, again, you play Overwatch on.
That is 2016 tech going up against 2020 tech.
Yeah.
The creme de la creme.
Like a 1650 or a 1050, my bad. Whew, I'm even giving it too much credit for that. But a 1050 wasn't terrible. But it's a low power card. You throw it in there. It's kind of like, I don't have any extra power, but I want to play, like you said, Overwatch. But for, like you said, a big, a new card, a new series, a new showing from a juggernaut chip maker, it's like rolling out a little Tykes car next to the new Mustang.
And I think that I'm pretty sure that this is discrete. I think the biggest indication of that is that you remember the whole Ice Lake naming nonsense where they had different SKUs, and then also so there were CPU numbers and GPU numbers for the SKUs.
Yeah, the G
So-
at the end.
Yeah. So the
Like the
G7, the
G7,
G5, the G3, the G7, G5, G3. No matter what CPU is attached to, it always determines the amount of execution units. What's interesting is that these two Tiger Lake CPUs, or these two different laptops, one has an i7, one has an i5, but they're both G7. Yet the execution unit count is different. And that really makes me think that it's discrete.
Yeah.
That's what that says to me. Also, this was only 20% faster than my 4900 HS. Like in Geekbench, it was only like 20% faster.
Yeah, I mean, is this supposed to be a 10 nanometer part?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't understand Intel at all at this point.
Wait, no, sorry. It was 7. It was 20% faster in Battlefield 5, and 7% faster in Geekbench.
So hold on. Compared to the 4900 HS.
Yeah, the iGPU in there.
Wow.
That's the top end Vega 8.
Yeah.
The HS is the creme de la crop of that one.
But the 4800U has the same iGPU. So it might perform the same. It depends on how the power works.
What I find interesting about that is there's no SKUs on the market of the 4900 HS that are only using the IGP though, right? They're all
Well, that's because it's an Asus exclusive.
right.
But I mean, you can make it only use that. Yeah, no, you can because the power saving stuff. It's just like Intel with the
It's not. It's not just like it. It's not just.
Well, I mean, it's. Let me rephrase that.
In theory.
In theory, technically,
should work.
it should work like that. Okay. Is it weird, guys, that I don't want an AMD laptop with dedicated graphics because of these issues? Like I'll just use the APU.
Yeah, well, I mean, like the APU is super fast.
Like I feel like it's totally fine for whatever I'm gonna
Yeah.
do, and I don't really want to game with it.
I've got a 4700U in mine, and it's pretty nice. Like for everything I do with it, which is not a whole lot, because anything serious I'll just use my desktop for. But I do some photo editing or something like that on there, and it's really snappy.
The ultimate benchmark, snappiness.
Yeah, I just sounded like a boomer on that one.
The ultimate,
Real world.
yeah, Intel real world testing. I mean, what?
Yeah.
What?
What did it rate on the snappiness meter?
Wait,
So
can
guys,
someone...
how did? But I gotta ask you a question. On the keyboard feel, what does it give you? It gives me a wowie zowie.
Oh dear.
Can someone please make a snappiness benchmark? Please. We need this. Even if it's a joke, we need it.
It doesn't have to
I'm
actually
gonna make
test
an
anything.
image.
It could just be a random
Yeah.
number generator.
It could be like download more RAM.
Well, what you have to do is you have to get 20 samples from the public, and you have to ask them, does this feel snappy on a scale of 1 to 10? And then you just take that result. And if they ask for a relative, just be like, relative to what you would expect.
What they would expect varies greatly, but it doesn't matter, and it's a 20
ultimate
random people every
methodology.
time. So
How does this
what their idea
compare
of
to your
snappiness
iPhone
changes.
4S?
Should walk around Best Buy and ask them to click a button. See how quick you get thrown out.
Very, very buttony.
10 out of 10 would button again.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting there with a mask on, goggles on, some alcohol sprayed that I swab down after somebody touches it immediately.
Oh lord.
The Best Buy employees shoo me out, but instead of kicking me out, they just get like a brush and they shoo me away like those old Night at the Apollo people.
But back to the XE leak there. It does say shows 1.1 gigahertz or 1.3 gigahertz that's the GPU, right?
Yeah.
So
That's the maximum.
I'm playing devil's advocate on the side of the XE. We know that the architecture is going to be designed for cross use, for high power computing to gaming to everything.
What actually, this is GLP.
Low power.
GLP and GHP, I'm pretty sure have absolutely nothing to do with each other.
Okay, so this one being low power, of course we got
Yeah.
that, do you think they could be gearing it for just like almost display use? These are going to be intended for high resolution, like billboard type stuff.
Could be, but what you have to understand is that before Raja came on to Intel, they had two GPU projects. They had Gen 12, which became GLP, and then they had whatever became Arctic Sound, which was a cloud streaming GPU. And what Raja did was they like combined the two. He made G, but this was already in the works well before he came around.
Okay, so I can't blame Raja for this, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, probably.
I think you still can.
This is Ari Rauch's work.
Okay.
So
Raja's sweeping up the dust with this one.
So there's a lot of like really weird naming with Gen 12. Like everything G is called Gen 12, but Gen is the internal stuff, like the integrated graphics. And then you have and then you have Arctic Sound, which is the cloud streaming GPU with a bunch of other stuff fixed onto it. So it's weird.
I just wouldn't.
Okay.
I just want to know when I can join the Odyssey.
Oh, dear Lord. Hey, you know what? I've got a bag that they gave me when I went to that. It's got a card and says, "Hold on to this card. It may be valuable."
Oh yeah.
I don't want to slam dunk on them or anything too much, but when that whole thing was going on, my only thought was, why are they keep marketing products that don't exist? Like, this is a lot of marketing for something that they haven't actually made yet. Why?
It had a really nice water bottle in it.
Yeah.
I mean, it got people talking about it.
You don't want people talking about something 5 years out.
What does it matter if they talk about it 3 years and the product comes out 3 years later?
Did Odyssey really start in 2017?
It might not be 2017. I might have exaggerated there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it was maybe
There's got to be 2018.
late 2018. I think it was late 2018.
Yeah, definitely 2018.
It was sometime after. It started sometime after I think Chris Hook came on board for Intel, which he's no longer there.
Yeah. Though his Twitter, I don't think he's updated his Twitter, which really confused me for a long time. Anyways, do we want to?
I only use LinkedIn.
Do we want to?
2019. He joined in November 27th, 2019.
Wow, man, that was really like short-lived. Then.
Oh no, wait, no, that was when he left again.
Oh.
April 18th, 2018. Yeah, okay.
All right, thanks, Keith.
Did we want to bash on Intel with their CPUs now?
Sure.
Okay, so did you see what Linus Torvalds said
about the AVX 512 stuff?
Yeah,
I was reading the article.
That was really surprising.
I have not. You guys should inform me, and I'll pretend I'm like the viewer who gets shocked and amazed.
Okay, here's the quote. I hope AVX 512 dies a painful death.
Whoa! Also, as the viewer, where's Jim? Why isn't Jim here? Why are you guys here?
Because Jim is... it's like 2-3 a.m. for him.
This seems like a subject that really requires like a 45-minute video from Jim, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
But
it wouldn't surprise me if it's in the works.
I'd like to see Jim talk about AVX and stuff.
Yeah, because I don't fully understand it enough to really like...
I don't know either.
To really have a real comment on this, but I will say that like just reading what Linus said about it, it sounds like he's got a point. Like everything I know about computers in terms of like actual applications I use on a daily basis, almost none of them actually use AVX 512. So whenever I see Intel leading in an AVX 512 benchmark, my first thought is what is this actually going to do for me? And I don't know.
And who is this for?
That's exactly what I was thinking. And so when I read Linus's like whole spiel about it, I was like, "Oh my god, I'm not a psychopath."
Yeah.
AVX is actually totally useless because it's like, listen, Intel is expanding support for this stuff. There are applications that utilize it, and it's like, and I'm wondering, does it really matter? And it's like, probably not.
What does it do?
I don't know. It's something floating point, I guess. It's something.
I remember doing a lot of research to figure out what it does, and I forgot. So
I did the same thing when they first started talking about it, and it was this great thing. And there are people way more in tune with CPU architecture than I am. GPUs is more of where I like to float myself, but I got into this one and I was like, I don't see the benefit. What's using it? Maybe something someday. Okay.
Well, in these very, very, very specific video encoders that no one uses in these very, very specific situations for these very specific, profiles or something, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think H.265 encoding supports it when you're doing the actual encode work. Maybe I'm wrong on that.
I just know that when you enable AVX 512 in a workload, your clocks go down to like shit.
Yeah. But apparently, like, the efficiency goes up because the performance is a lot higher. I just don't get it. I just don't... Like, what is AVX? Well, it's an instruction
Yeah, I was
set,
gonna
but,
spoil it.
but it's like, wait, hey, but this reminds me of something. Doesn't Destiny 2 use this? Because I remember there being, right when Ryzen 3000 launched, there was a bug with AVX or AVX2 or something,
And
Ryzen wouldn't work on Destiny 2.
I don't know
And
if
it
that's an
fixed it
AVX thing. It could be, honestly.
I think that was the issue, is that for some reason the AVX thing wasn't working right, and they fixed it with the BIOS update. But that's just a funny thing. Like, if it wasn't for Destiny 2, probably nobody would have noticed that AVX is broken on AMD.
Also, I'm gonna say the people watching this right now are like, there's somebody in the comments right now typing away, explaining how it works and calling us all stupid.
That's fine. I was gonna say it's a CPU instruction set. I am no CPU genius, and I don't sit up and read white papers on CPU, so I'm not gonna pretend like
I mean, I
know.
have, but I forget.
Well, okay, goldfish.
I mean, listen, there's a lot of stuff I have to keep in my brain. A lot.
I miss Titanium.
Why would you say such a thing?
Titanium was the future until AMD introduced that terrible 64-bit x86 instruction set.
Well, that's because the future is fusion.
Wasn't that is that AMD's?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's what they called,
Yeah,
it was what they called APUs before.
Yeah. Jim sort of made a video about that.
Yeah.
With the 25x20
I
thing.
feel
25x20,
really
yeah.
bad though, because the people who are saying Jim would say something about this, they're probably right. Jim probably would have some statement about AVX, and
I'm telling you,
remember.
He's working on it. You know he is.
Jim almost never tells us about
If
his
not,
videos, though.
honestly though, if not, you just gave him a great idea, and the viewers should thank you for giving Jim this idea if he didn't have it already. But we'll never know. So
Jim can't comment on this because he's currently locked in my basement.
Whoa.
Working on the next video, of course.
So,
Yeah, of course.
is the rest of the staff that is not here right now. We've staged a coup, so you guys know.
Yeah.
Hey, that was my joke.
I just
Oh, I'm sorry, I stole your joke.
I just watched Hamilton on Disney Plus and I felt like having a revolt.
I mean, that's a thing you could do, I guess. Anyways,
Okay, and then finally, this was a leak that I missed, but this is from Igor. Well, it's like sort of like it's like a follow-up to somebody else's leak, and Igor
Okay.
has his own info. So
Okay.
this is a Milan leak. So he has a zero-stepping engineering sample specs. So this is like the very first thing that they would make. That's what
Okay.
A0 means. And it's kind of exactly what we expect. It's 64 cores with 8 compute dies, and the clock speeds are actually pretty high for it being A0, because we have 3 gigahertz on the highest one, and then base is like 1.2, but then there's also one where the max is like 2.2,
okay.
which is like not very high, but that's on a 64 core one, so that's sort of forgivable.
Yeah, I mean, if you
And
want
a
to have
server
that
part.
yeah.
Yeah. And what's really interesting is that the L3 cache is the same, which is kind of a confirmation. I mean, like, it's a strong implication that our info that Jim released a video on, like, God, that's a really long time ago. I think back in April, where he was told about Zen 3, that the L3 cache wasn't increasing. That's probably true.
So
Because everyone was expecting that it would double or something, and it's not.
Ooh.
it's not increasing,
That'd be a
it's
tough-
just merging into one large pool.
Yes. So technically, the L3 cache per CCX has doubled, but that's because they've merged them together. The L3 cache per CCD has remained the same.
Right. So it's the same amount
I
on
like
the
this.
die, but any
Yes.
given CCX has access to double the amount of cache. So that's still an effective
Yes.
doubling in some ways.
Yeah, for like latency bound stuff. Yes, that's very beneficial. So gaming, for instance.
Oh, I can't
Alright,
wait till
I need
they
my-
call this Game Cache 2.0.
It's Mega Game Cache.
Rambo cache.
Super game
wait,
cache.
That's Intel.
Uh-oh.
Super clocked game cache.
Oh, wait. NVIDIA's got super, so it can't be Super Game Cache.
What if they call it super clocked? No, wait, that's an EVGA thing.
Yeah, I was about to say.
super, super, super clocked game cache. There you go.
RTX 2080 Ti super clocked.
Super duper.
ICX 2.0 ACX cooler with fusion.
I'm gonna call it Commando Cache.
Commando.
Commando cache.
But with a K.
Coming to wreck everyone.
Also, I do want to point out that these clock speeds are probably going to go a lot higher.
Wow, that would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Okay, do we have podcast questions in the channel?
Keith, I could check actually.
I'm checking right now. Keith, I don't think you can see this if you're not on the
Adored Discord channel.
Yeah.
No.
Are you? Oh, you're not in the gang. Oh, that's sad.
Yeah,
Oh
no.
man, you need.
Okay.
You need to be a part of Patreon.
No. I'm broke. I just had to buy a new condenser for my house.
Because you should set up a Patreon for that.
This is adult money problems. I had to just spend like $2,000. Make sure my house doesn't.
I want to. We haven't had any questions this month. So
wow.
That's a little sad.
We're gonna cut this out. We're gonna cut this out, Kirk. Cut this whole part out because this is embarrassing.
Actually, we've had too many questions to even be able to answer any.
Yes, the podcast
I did have
is
a
doing
bad
great
habit
right
of
now.
poking
We
him
are
every
so
time he'd be
successful.
on one of those.
So
Like, yeah,
I mean,
but didn't
I guess
this happen?
I guess to kind of close this off,
and
we
he's
talk
always
about,
like, "I see your bias." I'm
what
like,
we-
"Really?
what
You?
we're
Not you?
looking
Surely
forward to,
you
what we have,
are so
ahead of us.
unbiased."
I'm not
He's
looking
like,
forward
"I
to
am."
anything. Nothing's interesting right now.
Okay. What about you, Keith? You have anything you're looking
Look,
forward
this
to?
this guy got so mad at AMD that he wrote an algorithm that would I mean, by the time this goes up, it will have gone live.
That's right.
Where I took a look at
I remember that.
Death Stranding's
He used
PC
that
release,
algorithm to tell me I
and
was a troll.
its
because he didn't
implementation
like
of
that I was winning the
DLSS
argument.
2.0 in it, and it's
And I was
actually
like, I don't
really
think I'm a troll,
good.
though.
And
Maybe I
but
am.
what's really good about this one
I
is
just can't
it
hear that
has
person not laugh.
it's a game that has DLSS 2.0, but it also utilizes fidelity
if I'm
effects.
often the last person
And
to
not
reply
just
in a
for
thread, it
the
means I'm a
contrast
troll because I
adaptive
always have the
shading.
last
I
word.
always mess
You're
up
not a
what
Patreon
CAST
subscriber?
stands for. But instead of just having that, it actually utilizes the fidelity FX where it drops the internal resolution but upscales it to the final rendered image.
Anyways, we've talked
so
enough
you can
about
get a
him.
good
He's,
look at
I think
the two different techniques.
I think honestly,
now
we spend way
DLSS
too
is
much
obviously
time
limited
talking
to
about
the
this. It's
RTX
probably
lineup.
a little more than is necessary.
If you don't have those, you have access to the Fidelity FX option in the game. What's interesting is the game actually runs super well across the board on like any hardware, like modern hardware. It runs great, but it's one of those games that you either have no anti-aliasing or you only have FXAA or TAA, which are neither one of them I care for. I don't know about you guys. Anybody like either one of those methods?
No, I turned it off.
I love temporal and anti-aliasing. It's the best.
Yeah, I love that they put it in a lot of first-person shooters because it adds latency, but it makes your frames go up. So,
well, the thing is, in this one, the DLSS actually looks better than TAA, and I know there's always NVIDIA makes this argument, and you see it, and it's like, but whenever you go and you do the game and you look at it side by side, you're like, well, there's some things here and there's some things there. This is the first time that it actually, I would turn, not even for the performance benefit. There is a good performance boost. I mean, the 2060 will run the game maxed out with DLSS enabled at 4K at 61 FPS average with 59 at the 99th percentile.
Oh, wow.
So you don't need it at resolutions that the cards are designed to run at, but it eliminates like flicker from lights and swinging lines, like power lines and hanging ropes. It kind of gets rid of that pixel crawl that you get with a highly aliased. It smooths all that out, and like lights stay on and they don't flicker in and out of pixels. And the article that I put up, I did like a side by side, and you can actually see distant objects are more clear with the DLSS as opposed to the native image of the game. So, but it introduces a really bizarre, almost ghosting effect on fine details in the distance. I didn't realize it at first. I thought it was part of the game's like motion blur until I started slowing things down and looking for, you got to look for the problems. You can't just go, oh, looks good, and then move on. You have to scrutinize some things with these. Otherwise, you'll completely miss, things that may be missing Because we've seen things in the past where you turn on something and now assets are missing, so performance goes up. There's none of that going on, but there is a weird ghosting. It almost seems natural in the game, so I don't really have a problem with it, but somebody may look at that and say, well, it's not supposed to look like that, so I don't like it.
Right.
So
something I had a discussion with someone from the Discord about this before, and I don't remember who it was, so sorry, but because it was a while ago.
We love
back,
all of you.
But they were saying that usually reviewers, when they look at DLSS, they don't ever look at games, or maybe it's not in games like that have things like weather effects, rain and whatnot, because apparently the way DLSS works, that if you were putting something like rain on top of it, it looks terrible. I haven't actually seen that myself, because again, you always have really clean scenes whenever you see a DLSS example. And I really can't think of any games that have weather effects that also implemented DLSS.
This would be a good game to look at that. Now, the catch with that is you generally, when you as a reviewer, you're doing like the side-by-side images, so you want kind of as static of a scene as you can get,
right?
So that you can change it back and forth, so you can have a side-by-side. That may be actually be more suited to like a video, to where you can have it play out, because this game does have a lot of weather in the game. A big part of the game is what they call timefall, which is like a form of rain in the game, and it's a huge part of the game. So there is a lot of rain. I did read in a preview that someone else did that there is a difference in the way it looks during this particular cutscene, but it was like early in the game, and I'm 23 hours into it, so it's a little ways ago.
Right.
I thought you said you don't play games.
It's a walking simulator.
Okay, fair enough.
And it took a while to get these 3 sets of screenshots that I did, Alex. Some of us do work around here.
Ah, okay, I understand. I've done work once or twice before.
So
where's this work you speak of?
So I mean, normally what I do is I put the parts in the computer and then I press buttons until it gives me results. So that's usually what I do.
There you go.
So do you also use auto hotkey?
Oh. Now the one thing is, I will say that this is by far the best implementation of DLSS. If they had shown this from the get-go, I don't think they would be fighting the PR battle they are with people with the mentality of it. You know, they came out with the early ones, and it as the meme was, doesn't look super sharp. But if what came out since they implemented DLSS 2.0, so the Wolfenstein New Blood, was it New Blood? Whatever, the really bad game, Young Blood, yeah, the really bad one, and then the Deliver Us the Moon and
Control,
then the Control upgrade, big difference, and then this, I think they would have the messaging would have seemed very different. So
I played through a bit of Control recently on the 2060 that I got. It's a really nice experience, honestly.
Does it hurt the marketing for DLSS at all that Death Stranding is not a very good game?
I will argue that not a very good game or very good game is more subjective than ever with this one.
Okay.
It's Hideo Kojima.
I just haven't spoken to anyone who's played it that actually enjoyed it.
Well, just to give you an idea, Donnie, I can show you most of the more recent games that I've played, and I haven't played nowhere near the hours that I've put into this one because I want to.
Pretty interesting.
I can't. I find the game obsessively compelling, and I can't tell you why I love it.
Wow.
By the way, I like to go back to my answer because I realized that I do have something interesting, and I kind of gave out a very flippant answer, and I'm worried I might offend someone with that. Because
so what do you have coming up?
A small time mini ITX case maker sent me one of their cases to review, and I realized if I said there was nothing interesting that I have coming up, that might imply something very bad. But I am now making a mini ITX system that's going to be my main PC. Okay. And So I have everything except the power supply. The power supply is coming tomorrow.
Power
And
supplies are really
expensive.
SFX ones.
hard to get. Hard to
Yeah,
get.
I couldn't find any on Amazon. I had to go to Newegg.
What did you get?
And of course, I got I don't remember which
Was
one
it a
it was.
Silverstone?
No, I don't think so.
FSP?
It was maybe.
I've got an FSP Dagger 550 in my living room PC that is very nice, but they have gotten very expensive.
I have FSP.
why don't you tell us what the specs are of your living room PC, Keith?
It's got a Ryzen 5 3600, 16 gigs of RAM, and a 2070.
Nothing serious, right?
Yeah, his living room
Huh?
PC is better than many people's, work
I mean, it has a
PC
better
or-
graphics card than my computer.
Well, it doubles as our VR system. So we used to do VR here in my office, and then my wife uses the VR more than I do, and she tries to kick me out of my office to use it. So
What are you, Linus Tech
so
Chips?
no. Well, the living room PC used to just be a 3400G, like a Ryzen 5 3400G.
That's a
and
huge
then-
upgrade.
Well, I mean, I figured if I was going to go through the trouble and buy go through all that, I might as well make it worth my while, right?
Which case are you using for that?
The Node 202.
Oh, I like that one. It's
I do too.
At this point, it's an oldie but a goodie.
It's a hot box.
So the guy who sent me the case also sold me a mini ITX motherboard because I said I was having trouble finding them.
Okay.
Like he was like he just sold me and he was like, "Do you want to buy it?" And I was like, "Hell yeah!"
Nice.
board?
What'd you get?
It's a B450 Fatality, nothing special, but
Fatality
it's good.
boards are nice. Fatality boards are
Yeah,
nice.
it's got good I/O. It
My-
also has Wi-Fi. It has a Wi-Fi, which is great. I need
Yeah.
that.
Actually, kind of funny that you bring up ITX boards. Do you guys remember the X570 impact board that I mentioned jokingly that I would shill for?
Will you now? Or are you gonna still show for it?
He's successfully shilled.
No, I mean, Asus is sending me one of those eventually, but yeah, Asus
What?
is. Yeah, so Asus
You don't want to
is
know what he
sending
had to
me-
do.
Asus is sending me a B550, or has sent me a B550 Strix F.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's going to be on the block to be reviewed. I just wanted to wait. I've actually gotten, a few weeks ago, ASRock sent me their B550 Steel Legend. It's actually sitting on the table right now. I wanted to wait to get all of the testing done in one block with both of the boards, so I was waiting for that. But due to all of the shipping issues with getting stuff out, it was literally, the guy would email me every week and say, yeah, we just couldn't keep them in stock long enough to get marketing to get a hold of one.
I show for the G14 and Asus sends me nothing. But you get a motherboard.
He
Right?
sent pictures. You didn't want to have to do it, Matthew. It's not worth it. I'm just glad to know I'm not the only one going to be working off of an ITX system for their primary system. I just recently downsized my whole setup.
What board you get?
I did kind of... Oh, me or him? What?
No, I know what board you got. I meant Keith.
Okay.
I got the B450 Strix ITX board because you can't find any boards to buy, and it was
Yes.
MSRP, and I was like, buy right now. I'm done looking.
So you mean it wasn't $200 for a $100 B450 motherboard?
No, it was still overpriced at $130, but
Oof.
Ooh.
I mean that's MSRP on it.
Yeah.
I think the B450 Aorus board is better, but I didn't feel like taking it out of my living room PC. It was just too much work, and I'm lazy.
But you were saying something, Matthew?
No, I'm just mad that my shilling didn't result in anything.
You got to start small with it. I mean, Alex started sending them pictures.
Getting a laptop is hard.
Yeah, it was... Getting the G14 was hard. And I bought
getting
it.
them to sample you a laptop is really hard, let alone letting you keep the laptop.
They'd be like, you can look at it for a day.
I wasn't trying... I'm just saying you got something I didn't.
Oh, I mean,
Like, you didn't even tell me, Alex.
I thought
He didn't want to hurt your feelings.
that's what it was. It's not that I forgot
No,
to put it in the
I
group
actually
chat.
lied there. He did tell us. He did tell us.
Um,
But it works to lie.
this is a lesson for all the younger people listening to this who are in high school or whatever.
Just lie. Just lie if it's okay.
As long as they don't figure it out. I mean, what? This is terrible advice. I'm sorry. Just don't listen to this.
I'm just gonna let you know that most of this is getting cut out.
Yeah, this is a bad podcast because Kirk and Jim aren't here to do quality control. This is a different podcast.
I promise you, Kirk is going to be listening to this over, and he's going to be laughing, and then he's going to get angry.
He's not going to be happy with this. This might be a lot of editing work for him.
This one might be the one that doesn't get released.
Oh my god, if it's not.
That'd be
do you
funny.
have anything interesting you're working on?
I'll
Donnie?
leak it.
It's gonna be...
Do you have anything you're working on, Donnie?
Well, at the moment, I'm waiting on a couple of other parts to come in for a build I'm doing with ASUS. So stay tuned for that. It'll be an article and a video if I can figure out how to work this goddamn camera.
It's easy. There's a push the red button.
What is so? Wait, so Donnie's also getting ASUS stuff? What the hell?
So I mean, basically, what happened is, the guy from Donnie contacted the guy from ASUS to get a GPU for some testing or something, and then the guy said, "Wow, you guys are so cool. We're gonna give you everything."
Hey, they mentioned about their laptop review that went really well. So.
Wait, I wasn't told about any of this with Donnie. This isn't a lie right now. I legitimately was not told about this. Guys.
I mentioned the fact that I was doing a build with ASUS in the...
Hang on a minute. No.
I promise you.
No. I don't think, Kirk, if that's what happens, you can like throw the chat log up there. If there's not a chat log there, I think that means Donnie isn't being truthful. I don't remember.
I mean, I would hope that we were all aware of this. I don't know, but I do know that basically the point in the email chain that I got was, he told the guy from ASUS, he's like, so if you want to send out any motherboards to review, we also have the guy with all the Ryzen CPUs who's reviewed motherboards before, Alex. And I was like, hi, how you doing?
Didn't invite me.
I mean, we've talked about this before. Do you want to take tons of pictures of capacitors and do all of the work that is involved in a motherboard review? I think the conversation ended with you saying, "Oh God, no."
Don't.
Oh,
please no.
Yeah, that's a good point. I probably did say that.
I don't. Look, I've told Alex in a long time ago, and he can vouch for this. We were discussing dealing with I think it was during the original Ryzen launch, and I was like,
yes.
And I was like, God, I hate motherboard reviews. Because like I was doing it as part of the Ryzen launch, and I was like, I hate doing this. I don't ever, and I haven't done a motherboard review since. Like I've not asked for one. I was like, I'll just buy it. And the chip. I like same thing for my test bench. I was like, I need a 9900K for it. I'm not reviewing it. I will buy it. I have done
one motherboard review in my entire career as a reviewer. And never again. Whenever I get motherboards sampled to me, it is explicitly with the intent that it will not be a review. It's either
I will use it for something else.
I'm either doing a build, or it's going to be a part of my test bench, and it'll be mentioned all the time for that, or anything else. But it is not going to be a review.
I think both you, Donnie, and Keith have told me before, you must enjoy to be abused because you like doing these reviews.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, they're miserable. And when people are like, I wish I could do these. Ugh.
They've told me many times there's something wrong with me, and I'm like, I don't know,
Well, you also break half the boards you get.
Hey.
Your motherboard's at 50% survival
it's more
rate.
like half this past year, okay? It was like 20% before that. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying you have a better chance of surviving
human malware
than you do being a motherboard that has...
Oh, you said... Now this video can't be monetized.
Yeah, we're going to cut this out. Human malware. Time check, timestamp.
Now Kirk is actually going to have to edit this.
I mean, he was going to edit a lot of it anyways. Because
I mean, I can cut that part of my audio myself.
I think we covered pretty much everything, and I think this was a really good 30-minute podcast, like always. Because we do a really good job of keeping it to 30 minutes.
I'm looking at the time right now.
I'm running on 57 minutes, guys.
30 minutes.
Yeah.
That's 30 minutes.
But by the time Kirk gets done with it...
Well, I've been asking him not to edit it so hard so that he can get it out sooner.
Isn't that the joke, though, Matthew? Because you've been on, like, almost all of these, is that they're all 30-minute podcasts?
Because, before I wanted to aim for 30 because that would lighten the workload for Kirk.
Ah.
I don't think a 30-minute podcast is possible. I've been trying for over a month to pull that off.
It's really hard because you spend like time. If you're like really dry and really specific, you can do it. But I don't think people really want to listen to very dry podcasts where you're.
We have a graphics card leak and it has performance, and these are the numbers.
Yeah, so
Aren't
let's
you
moving
excited?
on. What else do we have? This InWin has a new case. Yeah, it's a case.
Hey, wait a minute. Are you making fun of me?
What?
That's the idea I had for this podcast.
Crap. I did
No
not
jokes.
get that memo.
No jokes. You're just like no jokes, no conversational tone, very strict, on point. 1, 2, 3.
There's before we end the podcast, I just want to say there's a lot of comments that say like I'm an asshole or like or I like make like huge like faux pas in conversation, and every single time it's like these people have no idea what's happening.
What's a
And it's
faux
like
pas?
one time like a mistake.
Oh,
It's French. He's being
Yeah.
fancy.
It's French. It's socially unacceptable.
Yeah. But there's like a lot of times like people where they think I'm being an asshole to everyone, and it's like no, it's just I'm very on point, I'm very straightforward, and I am kind of annoying about making sure that we move on to the new topics.
I mean, sometimes you can get caught in the weeds like we are right now.
Yeah. But it's specifically about like also when I accidentally interrupt people, like we interrupt each other all the time because there's
Yes.
latency
Yes.
and we want to talk, but it's just like but we can't sometimes, and then we end up interrupting. Yeah, like just
Yeah,
like
see?
right
See?
now. That
Because
wasn't
Alex
Alex's
has no
fault.
patience.
I hate all of you. That's what it actually is.
It's hard because we want to talk and we want to get in, and it's not about being mean. It's just that we have stuff to say, and then it's hard to gauge when we can talk because there's a decent amount of latency.
And we also have a lot of us shifting in and out of the podcast often enough that the consistency, I guess, isn't there.
a
Yes.
big part of it too is that I think my opinion is more important than yours.
I mean,
Okay,
obviously, I am the smartest person in the room, right?
All right.
I mean, he's the only person sitting in his room, so
Wait, I am.
there we go.
You're
We're all
sitting in
geniuses in our
Alex's
own
room.
way.
Oh, that's a smart.
See that? That's why Keith is the smartest person in his room.
Okay, we've hit an hour. I think that's it for the podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for watching the worst episode of Overvolted.
I mean,
Uh,
let us know what you think. Let us know if you ever want to see Keith again. If you never
I'm
want
glad
to
to
speak to him
contribute
again.
to the worst.
Let us know if you want quality control to be back in the form of Jim and Kirk.
I mean, I think they're gonna want Jim back regardless because Jim
Yes.
is the best and we love him.
I was,
You know, I was told
always-
Jim was going to be here. I was lied to.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Sorry.
Next time we'll try to get you on with Jim, Keith. Next time.
Been talking to Jim for years, but never in voice.
Yeah,
it's
wait.
just like, guys, I'm just gonna say this to everybody that's listening, and this is the last thing I think we want to have recorded.
Yes.
It's legitimately like listening to one of his videos, but he's talking to you, so you feel like you're
Yes.
special.
Right, but wait, one more thought before we
Okay.
close the podcast. I've worked with Jim on the website for like a year. The first time I ever talked to him with voice chat was when we started doing the podcast.
Wow.
That was literally the first time. Everything had been done in text before then.
Who's Jim?
Okay.
I'm sorry,
Okay,
adored
that-
man. Adored man.
Sorry, I couldn't help it.
Okay, that's it. Okay. Thank you all for watching. Yeah, bye.
All right.
Okay, so we always have Kirk opening up. He's gonna open up.
You should
Hey
do it.
everybody. All right.
Yeah, I guess that's gonna have
Alright,
to be
you do
me
it.
since I'm on here every single time. I can't do a Kirk impression though.
No, just be a Matthew.
Right, I'm Kirk. That's just
Kirk's gonna listen to this and be like, "Fucking idiots."
Oh, I could do it and just really confuse people.
Yeah, that would be really weird.
Welcome to the WCCF Tech podcast.